students. So those who have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe my channel and also share my videos. So let us start with another topic of electrical engineering, which is working of an ideal transformer. So we are going to study about the working of an ideal transformer on no load. No load means the secondary is open. Okay. So let us start with the working of an ideal transformer. But before starting the working, we should clearly understand what is an ideal transformer. So ideal transformer is the one which is having 100% efficiency. That means it is having neither the ohmic losses nor the magnetic leakage, and it is also not having the core losses. So these are the features of an ideal transformer. The core is having the infinite permeability. What is the core? Core is made of such a material, and it is made in such a manner that it is having infinite permeability. That means it requires less magnetizing current to magnetize the core. Then the primary and secondary windings have zero resistance. They are having the zero resistance. The leakage flux becomes zero. So when the transformer is ideal, the magnetic leakage flux is nil. Magnetic leakage flux becomes zero. All the flux is linked to the core, and the leakage is not there in the flux. Okay, and it is having 100% efficiency. Efficiency is 100%. No hysteresis and eddy current losses are there in such type of transformers. So ideally, it is an imaginative transformer only, because practically the losses are there, and we cannot have a core which is having infinite permeability. Okay, so it is just an imaginary transformer. It can be only imagined. So first let us study about the ideal transformer. Later we will be studying about the practical actual transformer. Okay, so in this over here, transformer is shown over here, having the primary side and the secondary side. The primary winding is shown over here, and the secondary side is shown over here. Secondary winding is also shown. The number of turns in the primary are denoted by N1, and number of turns are denoted by N2. Okay, so in the primary side you can see there are less number of turns, and in the secondary side there are more number of turns over here. Okay, so the primary is connected with the voltage source V1 over here. Primary is connected with the voltage source V1, and the secondary is open. So we are going to study about the transformer with no load. No load, that means the secondary is open. Okay, so the primary is connected with the voltage source V1. The current starts flowing through it. The current starts flowing through it, which is I1. Okay, and it magnetizes the core. A flux is being set up. As soon as the current starts flowing in the winding, the core gets magnetized. The flux is set up in the core. Okay, because flux is directly proportional to current. Flux is directly proportional to current. So as soon as the current starts flowing, flux is set up in the core. Now because of the flux, the primary side gets self-induced. The primary winding gets self-induced, and an induced EMF E1 is produced. E1 is set up. An induced EMF E1 is set up over here due to the self-induction. Due to self-induction, E1 is produced over here. E1 is set up over here, and that E1 is nothing but it is EMF, induced EMF E1 at the primary side. Okay, so due to self-induction, E1 is produced. Okay. Now this E1, the direction of this E1 is opposite to that of voltage source according to the Lenz's law, because the Lenz's law states the direction of the current or the voltage is in such a manner that it opposes the cause which produces it. Now here the cause is the voltage source only. Because of the voltage source, when we applied the voltage source at the primary side, then only the flux started is being set up over here in the core. Let us denote the flux also over here. Like flux is also set up in the core over here, phi, and because of this flux, because of the self-induction, induced EMF E1 is produced. So according to the Lenz's law, E1 is in antiphase with the V1. Okay, so we can write here the reason also, Lenz's law. Okay, now this flux is linking the primary as well as the secondary, and since the core is of infinite permeability, over here, core is of infinite permeability, so very less magnetizing current is required to magnetize the core. So core gets easily magnetized and the flux is being set up, and that flux gets easily linked with the secondary side also. So when the secondary side, the flux gets linked, because of the mutual induction, EMF E2 is produced. Okay, so because core is having infinite permeability, flux gets linked with secondary winding easily. Okay, flux gets linked with the secondary winding easily, and due to mutual induction, E2 is produced. Okay, due to mutual induction, E2 is produced. Okay, so when the E2 is produced, if the secondary would have been closed, then the current would have been started flowing into the secondary side, and that current would be given as I2. But here the secondary is open, so we can only denote the E2 over here, which is the secondary EMF over here. Okay, and this E2 will be also the E2 direction will be also opposite that of the V1 because of the Lenz's law again, because E2 is produced because of E1 and E1 is produced because of V1. So ultimately E2 is again produced because of the V1, and the Lenz's law states the direction of the current and the voltage is in such a manner that it opposes the cause which produces it. So again with the Lenz's law we can say E2 is equals to minus V1. Okay. So EMF will be depending upon the flux and the number of turns. Okay. So the magnitude of E1 and E2 will be, actually EMF is directly proportional to d phi by dt, or you can say it is equal to n d phi by dt. Okay. So the number of turns and the flux are the main factors on which the induced EMF is depending. Okay, if the number of turns are more, then the induced EMF will be more. If the flux is more, then the induced EMF will be more. So these are the two factors on which the EMF is being depending. So this is all about the working of the transformer. So we saw that the voltage was given and the current started flowing into the transformer and the flux was being created. Because of that flux, the self-induction, because of the self-induction, induced EMF even was produced or set up. Then at the secondary side, the flux is linking the secondary also. So because of the mutual induction, E2 is produced. EMF is produced, and the secondary winding is open, so no current will flow in the secondary. But if the secondary would have been closed, which we will be seeing, we will be learning in the next videos about the secondary closed and the load is being put in the secondary. Okay, so this was the working. Now let us quickly see what is the phase, how the phasor diagram actually looks for the transformer of an ideal transformer. Okay, so the phasor diagram. Let us see the phasor diagram. So the phasor diagrams are very much important for the transformers, for the transformer on the no load and for the actual transformers also. It is very much important from the exam point of view. Okay, so for this we should know that the windings which we have taken are purely inductive windings. Here the windings we have taken the purely inductive windings, means the resistance of such windings are 0. So the purely inductive windings we have been taken. So we know whenever there is an inductive load, then for the inductive load, the current lags the voltage by 90 degrees. And for the capacitive load, the current leads the voltage by 90 degrees. And for the resistive load, the current and the voltage are in phase with each other. Okay. So here the windings we have been taken purely inductive. They are purely inductive. So for the inductive loads, the current will be lagging the voltage by 90 degrees. That will be lagging the voltage by 90 degrees. Now here I1 is because the core is having infinite permeability, so very small amount of current is only required to magnetize the current. So the current which is magnetizing the core is known as the magnetizing current, and it is denoted by I mu or IE. In some books it is denoted by IE also. So I1 is the only magnetizing current, so we can write instead of I1 I mu also. Okay, so we can replace it with I mu also, because it is only the magnetizing current which is magnetizing the core, because core is having infinite permeability. Okay, so let us start drawing the phasor diagram. So for the phasor diagram, I am taking the flux on the x-axis. Okay, so naturally the magnetizing current or IE or I1, you can say any of them, that would be also on the x-axis only, and my voltage will be on the y-axis. My voltage V1 will be on the y-axis, and voltage will be leading the current by 90 degrees, or you can say that current is lagging the voltage by 90 degrees. Okay, so now EMF E1 is equals to minus V1 and E2 is also equal to minus V1 according to Lenz's law. So E1 and then E2. Okay, so let us write over here current lagging the voltage, for inductive loads. Okay, so now here one thing is to be noted, that the magnitude of E1 is less and the magnitude of E2 is more. Why it is so? This thing is to be noticeable and it is to be questionable. Why the magnitude is to be, E1 is to be less and E2 is to be more? This is because the transformer which I have taken over here is step up transformer, and the induced EMF depends upon the number of turns and the flux linkage. Okay, so the number of turns for the secondary side are more. That means the transformer is step up transformer. In the step up transformer, it transforms the voltage from low voltage to high voltage. Okay, so it is a step up transformer, so the secondary side will be having more flux linkages and the number of turns are also more, so naturally the E2 will be more. So when the E2 will be more, the magnitude shown for E2 is more and the magnitude shown for E1 is less over here, because the transformer is step up transformer. Okay, you can write down over here E2 is greater than E1 as it is step up transformer. Okay, so this is all for the working of an ideal transformer. So in the next lecture, in the next video, we will be studying about the actual transformer where the secondary side is closed and a load is being placed over here, and because of that load the losses will be also there. So here there were no losses, the transformer was totally ideal, it was having 100% efficiency, but this is not possible in the day-to-day life. Some of the other losses are always there in the transformer. Okay, so thank you. So please subscribe my channel, please share my videos, and if you have any doubt you can ask me in the comment section. And one more thing, because coronavirus is spreading very rapidly all over the world, so during this lockdown time, please stay at home, please don't go outside, be safe, be healthy. Thank you.